Greetings, Marlene. This is Chris Bamey, and I just want to kind of give you an overview and step you along with what I'm doing with my bag. For my bag, I'm going to be using this print as my outer bag, and then I will also be using it for a little pocket on the inside. This will be the lining on the inside, lining my utility pocket, and lining the zipper pocket that's inside. This will be used for the zipper pocket that's on the inside and the zipper tabs. I will try to give you a rundown of what those pieces are, maybe show them after I've cut them. But now I'm going to stop this portion and go ahead and get my pieces cut, and then cut my interfacings and my stabilizer that I will be using. Instead of batting, I use stabilizer, and I'm going to pre-quilt my outer fabric to my stabilizer. So here I go. For my bag, I'm going to be using this Naked Flex Foam. It's made by Pellon. It is basically a stabilizer like Annie Soft and Stable, but it doesn't have any of the tricot on it, and it is not fusible. It's just a sew-in. And then for my interfacing, I use the SF101, which is a very lightweight woven interfacing, and this does have a fusible side, and I just prefer those products. Okay, Marlene, I've got all of my pieces cut out, and I'm just going to go through them real quickly here to show you what my setup is. These are my fabrics A with my stabilizer. So those are A. These are the lining fabrics B, and I have already got the interfacing on, and I always cut my interfacing 1/4 of an inch smaller on the length and the width, so that when you put it on, it doesn't come over the edge and stick to my ironing board. So those are B, pieces B. And then we have the zipper pouch outside fabric, which is J, and they've been interfaced. We have the zipper pouch lining fabric K. There's 2 pieces for that. This is my piece. I gotta stop and think. This is the zipper pouch accessory pocket L, and that is the one that is going to be folded in half and sewn to the outside of the zipper pouch. So that is one piece with the interfacing. And then this is my utility pocket P, and what I've done is interfaced the back of the outer fabric and cut the lining fabric a different color, because this fabric is a little bit heavier weight. It's more like a very lightweight home deck fabric. So I didn't want to use 2 layers of that on the outside of my bag, so I'm just going to line it with a lighter weight lining, which is my quilting cotton, and those are all of my pieces cut. As I said, I am going to be doing some quilting before I assemble my bag, and so what I do is I just mark straight lines with a marker, and you can determine how wide of lines that you want. It's really up to you. What I did with my previous bag is I just followed some of the lines of the stripe design and just did a little bit of spaced quilting on that with no rhyme or reason or no defined marks. I just followed the lines of the stripe. I don't know if you can tell because my marking tools are very faint, but I just marked every 4 inches, starting with a center mark and then over 4 and over 4 in both directions. When I am quilting on the stabilizer, I always cut my fabric about 1 inch larger all the way around, because it will draw up whenever you're applying it to batting and such. And you can see that there's the overage on the sides. But also then that allows me time to trim it up so that I can get straight edges and do away with anything that's kind of off kilter. And here are my two panels, quilted and ready for construction. Okay, Marlene, this is the inside of the bag that I already made, and the one change that I am going to do is this inside pocket is as wide as the entire circumferences of the bag, but then when you box the corners, then it awkwardly follows the lining, and then you have to secure it by sewing it against the lining. And I just don't like that feature because these just really don't hold much of anything. So what I'm going to do is shorten the width of this so that it just bisects my bag, and I just think it would be a little bit more usable. Now when I pack it with my knitting, it does a fairly good job, and I happen to have some items that I can slip down into these side pockets, but it just really isn't usable for me. And then this pocket just ends up being really, I don't know, kind of useless. I mean, I put something in there, but it just really doesn't do much for me in that regard. So if you want to do yours as per the pattern, that's totally fine, up to you. Or if you would like to see how I'm going to alter it to make this less wide, I'll be happy to show you that way too.